So good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. 𝐍𝐨𝐬𝐭. I'm a professor and dean at the Institute of Health Management Research in Bangalore. We are a 20-plus-year-old institution which is focused on education, training, consultancy, as well as research. So we have been providing postgraduate health and hospital management education for the last 20-plus years. And we're very fortunate to have a strong base of alumni and a strong set of students who have forayed into different areas and dimensions in the healthcare space. Today, we have organized this webinar to educate and inform the other potential candidates who are pursuing their undergraduation or have completed their undergraduation in other streams of education, other fields of education apart from healthcare, to give them that information that healthcare management is definitely a career option for non-medical students. And therefore, we have in our midst 3 of our students, 2 of them being alumni and 1 from the current passing out batch, who have agreed to share their valuable insights of how they were successfully able to transition from a non-healthcare background, non-medical background, to a healthcare background today. So we are very fortunate to have in our midst Ms. 𝐏𝐸𝐿 Agarwal. She is from the batch of 2021-23, PGDM in Hospital and Health Management. She works as a senior executive at Narayana Health City in Bangalore. Warm welcome to the webinar, Ms. 𝐏𝐸𝐿.
Thank you so much, sir. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure is ours. So we are also fortunate to have in our midst our alumni, Mr. 𝐿, who is from the batch of 2022 to 2024 and had pursued his PGDM in Hospital and Health Management. He is currently working as a software engineer at Tech Mahindra. Welcome to the webinar, Mr. 𝐿. Very fortunate to have you in our midst today.
Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure being here.
Thank you. Last but not the least, we are also fortunate to have our current passing out batch student, Mr. 𝐒𝐿, batch of 23-25, PGDM, Hospital and Health Management in our midst today. He's already placed at a company called Bajaj Finserv Health. So warm welcome to you, Mr. 𝐒𝐿.
Thank you very much, sir. Pleasure to be here.
Thanks a lot. So basically, as I said earlier, we are into the higher education stream in healthcare and hospital management. And we run 3 courses. That is the postgraduate diploma in management in hospital and healthcare management, which is our flagship program. We also have introduced another program last year called the PGDM in artificial intelligence and data science, as well as we run the fellow program in management, all approved by the AICTE. And we also have an MBA accreditation to our flagship program, which is hospital and health management. Without taking much more time, to give you a background of what we are currently planning in this webinar, I'd also like to start off with an inspirational journey of a person by the name Jonathan Yong Kim. Born in 1984, he has successfully navigated through 3 career path changes in his lifetime. He was initially a Navy SEAL in America. Then he went on to the Harvard Medical Center to pursue his medical degree. Then finally, he is now an astronaut with the NASA. So there are potentials in each human being. Human beings have a lot of potential. And definitely, if there is a plan in mind, definitely human beings can execute it. So without taking much more time, I'd love to now request Ms. 𝐏𝐸𝐿 Agarwal to share her journey about moving into the healthcare space from being a bachelor in commerce. So Ms. 𝐏𝐸𝐿, you're currently involved in procurement, vendor management, and supply chain management at Narayana Health City. So it is not an easy thing to do. Maybe 4 years back when you had joined us, you came with a BCom background, which on the face of it is miles away from the medical and the allied health sciences stream. But what were the key points you considered while choosing a career in hospital and health management? And what made you comfortable with your decision today? Also, did you have any role model in health management area who inspired you to choose this different trajectory, as we can call it, at your PG level?
So yeah, so starting with the role model, my aunt is my role model, who is a healthcare leader in HCG. So for the past 5 to 6 years probably, and her dedication in improving the healthcare system and making a positive impact on people's lives inspired me to shift from my undergraduate commerce to a healthcare management in PG level. This transition from commerce to healthcare management was a different trajectory, but her influence and leadership in the field made me realize the importance of healthcare, and that instilled the passion on me to for making a difference in this sector.
Wonderful. That's good. You do have a role model to who actually guided you into this space. And definitely,
Yes,
each
sir.
of us have role models in our own lives and careers. But did you have an initial nervousness while choosing this field, which was far away from what you studied in your UG, which was accountancy, finance, commerce? And I also gather that you had completed your foundation course in chartered accountancy before you joined our program at IIHMR Bangalore.
That's correct, sir. So yeah, like transitioning from a BCom background, like it said, like from a BCom background to a healthcare industry was a significant shift, but there were some aspects which I considered that made my decision very fulfilling. And like I joined IHMR at 2021, so I'm a 2021-2023 batch, and just after, like, the COVID struck us, and during that time the critical role of healthcare management system and the need for effective management was highlighted. Witnessing the challenges faced by the hospital and healthcare providers during this time actually sparked that interest in me, seeing my aunt also like working, like where we were stuck in home. Those people were the one who used to move out of the house in those critical times and give their best to ensure that patient lives are secured. And yeah, like after recognizing that impact in the effective management has on the patient care and operational efficiency, then I chose to like go for this field. Plus, considering all these aspects, one more aspect was increasing in demand for the skilled professionals who can navigate the complexities of the health system. And this is a recession proof industry, that is what I felt during those time, and that is why I thought to pursue this.
Absolutely. It's quite a career objective to have because frontline workers, that is the healthcare workers, have actually helped Indians as well as other populations across the world navigate smoothly out of the pandemic. So it's a good
Yeah.
decision you have taken, is what I can also reckon, because you took the plunge into the healthcare industry at the crucial time wherein you saw that the healthcare professionals were the people who were saving lives. So wonderful.
Yeah.
Good to know that. And what were the key reasons or points that you would have considered before joining IHMR Bangalore? Why IHMR Bangalore? Why not any other institution?
So firstly, IHMR Bangalore because of the location. So like it is situated here in Bangalore, in the, that is a hub for healthcare and technology that provides access to numerous hospitals, organizations, startups, and innovation centers that might enrich our educational experience. Then IHMR Bangalore is well regarded in the field of health management education, and its accreditation and recognition by the relevant uh, bodies may enhance the credibility. Then the curriculum which IHMR provides, it addresses the specific needs of the healthcare sector, and combining with the financial knowledge, it adds upon it. Then IHMR has numerous connections with the industries, which might help in facilitating the internships, observership, and our career for like further for placements also. It
Absolutely.
provides practical exposure to the best through terms of observership and internship, making you job ready. Then diverse peer groups, like me from a financial background, the other from a dentistry background, some from the physiologist. So when these people come together, they have different opinions, their own perspective, and you when you work with them, when you bond with them, you're like you also open up, and that is how it helped me.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thanks for that holistic perspective on this question. But also the people who are listening to this conversation, the people who are on the webinar, would like to know how was your transition? What was the initial transition phase like? Was it like you were learning things at a very fast pace? And how did you keep pace with the teaching and learning in the class? Did you find it difficult really to cope up with the newly chosen area, which is PGDM and HHM?
So yeah, the initial few days were like often involved in me adjusting to the environment, the city, as well as the course that I chose. And it was pretty both like exhausting also, exciting also. So yeah, to keep pace with teaching and learning, I try to actively participate in the discussions, then ask questions from the faculty members and clarifying my doubts. Plus, I tried to collaborate and interact with my peers who were extremely supportive, and they used to help me out for like any doubt which I am having. Then making a schedule for whatever like the hard subjects, and there were easy subjects were there. So I used to uh, decide what how much time do I need to give to that particular subject that in which I am facing difficulty. That helped me a lot.
Wonderful. That's good. So you did it in a very planned out manner because management is all about planning.
Yeah.
So we typically offer four specializations in the second year, and you would have had an option to choose among, say, hospital management, health management, pharmaceutical management, as well as health IT management. What was the specialization you chose, and for what reason?
So I chose hospital management because I feel it is a G's in where all of the four comes. In that pharma is also there, in that IT is also there,
So,
in that some of the public health is also there. So yeah, the specialization, because the hospital management involves in-depth knowledge and skills that is specifically tailored to the management of healthcare facilities, and the focus on that prepared me for unique challenges faced in the hospital, such as patient care, operational efficiency, and then, as I said, the healthcare sector, particularly hospital management, is witnessing a significant growth. And as healthcare system involves, there is a increasing need for the skilled professionals who can manage the uh, hospital in a better way and enhance the patient care.
wonderful. So, on hindsight, I think you're still confident about and buoyant about the specialization you have chosen, which is hospital. So, no wonder you're speaking so strongly and confidently about it. So, moving on to the next question we have for you, how do you remember the memories of your student life at IHMR Bangalore? Was it about just study, 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 or was it was it that you were exposed to academics, uh, industry, field visits, observership, internship, all at the same time? Was it just studies or was it holistic development?
It was a holistic development, sir, definitely, because I was only into learning because I came from a different background, and to just come and focusing on the studies was my priority. But being an introvert also, but yeah, like classroom lecture, classroom learnings, that was my like one of my core memory, I can tell. The discussions we had in the classroom, the insights we got from our teachers, that was very much valuable. Then we got some practical exposure through visiting the hospitals. They took us for field visits also. That also, like we in the real time, we used to face what is actually happening, and then we have to make the assignments, and all that also was helpful for me. Then cultural events was also a part, where like after 3:30 we used to celebrate festivals, if any. And those activity actually encouraged teamwork and creativity, and that actually helped me personally as well as professionally. Then yeah, like interaction with these other students, it automatically happened because the teachers, like, yes, like when I initially joined, it was our online classes going on. So from that only we started communicating with people, with our peers, and that's how we grew the bond even before meeting. So that was nice.
Absolutely.
Plus
I
the
think
extracurricular activities also, like sports, we used to play sports, and that also actually promoted personal growth, leadership skills, and
absolutely. I think it also transformed your very personality into a very interactive and a very team-oriented human being and a career-oriented person. So, what is, if I ask you, what would be your message to your juniors or to the future batches? What would your message be with respect to this course and the future it holds?
so yeah, to the juniors and the future batches at IHMR Bangalore, like I said, learning is very important. So if you are coming from whatever background you are coming from, you need to be curious, and you need to have an open mind, because constantly the healthcare management is evolving. You need to keep yourself updated, then engage in the activity, actively participate in the classroom, ask questions as many as you want from your faculties, from your peers, and get clarity, participate in all the sport activities, cultural events, and um, what else? Like, yes, be very open to criticism, that might be positive or that might be negative, because that has helped me personally and professionally both.
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
think the last one was very good. Be open to constructive feedback so that
constructive feedback. Yeah,
so that students are not really taken aback with the feedback and do not go into depression, but take it as a positive challenge to actually deal with in a better fashion. So
yeah,
really good.
that
It
helps
was
help me in my current profession also.
absolutely. So you remember the interactions and you really found it useful. That is good to know. And also, if I may ask you, uh, I mean, based upon your 2 years of journey with IHMR and post that also as an alumni, how would you see IHMR as an external person or as a industry person now? How would you perceive what IHMR is all about, and whether you would recommend it uh, as a suitable place or a grooming ground for future healthcare professionals?
Definitely, sir. Me being an introvert, like now where I am and where I was 4 years back, I have transformed a lot, and thanks to IHMR for that, both personally and professionally. So yeah, like go for IHMR Bangalore, as it is an excellent choice for pursuing a career in healthcare management, offering specialization in health and hospital management. It will help you in equipping relevant skills that you require, as faculties are very much friendlier with you, and they can pinpoint where you are lacking. They can tell you how to improve. They can give you good feedback upon how you can improve yourself. Then the institute have experienced faculty, as I told. You can ask questions, they will clear your doubts. No matter, like, it is not like, undergraduate level how we used to study. It's completely different. It is very much, the faculties are very much welcoming and warming, to be very honest. And yeah, like the extracurricular activities also can help you a lot in both of your professional and personal life, in building your skills. So you should definitely go for IHMR Bangalore.
Wonderful. That's pretty holistic feedback given on the faculty, upon the teaching learning methodologies adopted at the institution, as well as on the various curricular, extracurricular, co-curricular activities, and of course, the infrastructure. So thanks a lot, Ms. Achal. Kindly be online. While I also welcome our second panelist for the day, Mr. B. Srijit, whose background is Bachelor of Business Administration. He took up our PGDM in Hospital and Health Management in the year 2022, graduated in 2024, was campus placed at Sakra World Hospital as a Quality and Systems Executive, interned at Atma, which is Narayana Hrudayalaya Limited's IT wing, as a product and customer experience executive, and currently has again transformed himself as a software techie working with Tech Mahindra. So warm welcome to you, Mr. Srijit, again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. My pleasure being here.
Thanks a lot. So basically, Mr. Srijit, you come with a totally different background, not related to healthcare, which is Bachelor of Business Administration, wherein the normal thing was to pursue an MBA in marketing, HR, systems, or finance into those vanilla specializations, or take up a job after graduation itself as a product or service marketer. But what you chose to do was totally different, moving into new realm of study, which is hospital and health management. Therefore, what were the key points you considered while choosing a career in hospital and health management, and what made you comfortable with your decision? And as I asked Ms. Achal, did you also have any role model to look up to?
Okay. So coming to the question, why PGDM in hospital and health management? So after BBA, I was offered jobs in two big companies. So so the kind of job roles that were being provided, especially for a COVID badge, person was more of a customer executive or technical support, which is something that's not what you aspire after doing a BBA, because most of them get offered. And I'm being very frank here. Even now, most of my batchmates who are from BBA, they still get offered into some, chat support and these kind of support roles, BPO, and those kind of jobs. And coming to the question, why healthcare? Why not anything else? So even if I had to think of MBA, every person after BBA thinks of going for an MBA, thinking that once I go to MBA, I'm going to have 10 lakhs LPA, I'm going to change my life, and it's going to be very comprehensive. I'm going to gain a comprehensive knowledge from compared to my BBA. Maybe they are partially right. Yes, you will gain more knowledge in that aspect, no denial. But when it comes to the practical exposure, for compared to an MBA and PGDM, so what I felt was PGDM is something that gives you kind of a technical knowledge, which is what recruiters or any kind of placement happens. They look for your technical skills, It's not the degree that you hold, it's a skill that you hold. So when it comes to that, I think PGDM focuses on getting a hands-on practical knowledge compared to a theoretical knowledge that an MBA offers. Okay, firstly. And why hospital and healthcare? So answering to that question, yes, as I said, I was from a COVID batch, and seeing the kind of layoffs and firings, mass firings from big tech giants. So that was something very frightening, because at that point of time, I'm looking for a job and people are getting fired. So it put me in a big question. So even if I went to any of the companies that offered me job, there is no guarantee that I will be retained there even after a year or whatever it is. So when that question came in, and the kind of chaos, I would say, that was going on around the COVID lockdown, pandemic, the hospitals and the health system being overburdened. So till that day, till this pandemic happened, my assumption was that in a hospital, it's just the doctor, the nurse, and the patient. This is what hospital and healthcare is all about. That was my knowledge, because for the fact, even my 11th and 12th was commerce. So I'm not a science student. Okay. So that was commerce again. And 10th, then commerce, then again BBA. And then uh, my exposure, I would say, about healthcare was all about that a patient goes to a hospital, the doctor and the nurse provides the services, the patient pays, comes out, it is all done. Never in my wildest imagination, I knew the ecosystem that is around healthcare. So now I am, yes, a software engineer in Tech M, working for healthcare. I never knew Tech Mahindra works in this field. Nobody knew. At least in my circle, nobody knew. Okay. So what led me to choose this is, first thing being being your job security. Okay. And I'll be very practical. Unlike the previous speaker, yes, passion is very important for healthcare. No denial. Uh, I didn't know what is healthcare, so passion was out of the question. So my thing was, I wanted a good job. Okay, I was very practical with my thinking. I want a good job. It has to be secure, and I wanted something different. Not a MBA. Everybody does MBA, but I felt MBA is pointless unless you are in a middle management or you want to grow somewhere higher. So I felt, okay, let's go with healthcare, especially considering the situation I was in the COVID pandemic. I thought that had great exposure. And role model, I would say completely, I didn't have anyone, because I'm the first person in my entire circle to know about healthcare or be in the healthcare field. So that was, something new. I didn't have a role model. I didn't know a few doctors, relatives, or few lab technicians and all that, but not a role model. I never knew there's something like that. So yeah, that's something about why I chose PGDM in hospital and health management.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's quite an eye-opener because many people, even to this date, don't know that there exists a management cadre in the hospitals.
Yes, yes.
So absolutely, it's quite a revelation now. Did you have any initial nervousness while choosing this field? And did you get overwhelmed at the point of getting the admission, or did you take some small steps to make your way into the health management sector?
So when I applied to IIHMR Bangalore for the this admissions, and I applied, I was very nervous, and I really wanted to know the what kind of courses or subjects that's being taught. Is it anatomy and some medical level, or is it something that I can cope up with? So yes, honestly, I was nervous. But on the other hand, I was excited, because unlike my peers, I'm not going into something very generic. I'm going to something niche. So I felt that is yes, if you are trying something different, it's going to be a more adventurous. It's going to be a rocky road. But yes, I was nervous, but I think it's just the initial phase that was very nervous. I would say, even I would put it in a way that first term, yes, it is nervous, because when you see your batchmates being from allied health or proper healthcare, MBBS doctors, BDS dentists, B.Pharm students, and then you see people from BSc nursing. Those there are very few in my batch who are non-medical students, and that was quite. I would say it shook me up initially, but I prove myself wrong because it's not a great rocket science. It's something that with the way the courses are taught, the way things were in class, I would say anybody can cope up. There's nothing to break your head over it. So
Absolutely.
yes,
So it proves that the healthcare industry as well as hospitals do require strategy officers as well as marketing officers.
yes,
So not really only doctors. So doctors are definitely ably supported by the management cadre.
yes.
Wonderful. So you've been a Bangalorean. You lived and studied in Bangalore. You knew that you're going to be in Bangalore and doing a course. So, but why IHMR Bangalore? What attracted you to IHMR Bangalore? And how did you get to know about this course? And how did you get to know about this institution per se?
Okay. So firstly, when I made my choice that I'm going to get into healthcare, considering that time the situation I said, so as soon as the first thing a person goes to is Google. I went to Google and then I searched best institutions for healthcare management. That was my input. And then, yes, I came across very big universities, TIS, Manipal, and all of them. And in that, even IHMR University and IHMR Bangalore was part of the list. So I was doing my research. Okay. But what I felt was, and at that point of time, considering this COVID pandemic, many universities started offering MH, many universities. It was opportunity for them, so they started offering. But I felt that IHMR is the only university, or IHMR Bangalore is the only institution that particularly focused only on healthcare. It's not like this MBA marketing, HR, and hospital management. It is not one among a specialization, it's the entire thing. So when it comes, so my logic was if I go in such an institution, which is completely focusing on healthcare management, the research around healthcare management. So I felt the knowledge there would be better, and the faculty there would be completely into healthcare, and they could provide me with a better kind of information coming from a totally, out of the field. So I felt IHMR Bangalore is the best place. And what made me more stronger to choose IHMR Bangalore was I did know an alumni of IHMR Bangalore, and she was placed in NH Atma, the same place where I did my internship. So what I heard was that she was placed there, and her package was somewhere around 4 LP or something initially. And once they got to know that once she completed a course, her salary was almost doubled, and she was even promoted or realigned, something like that. So at the time when people are getting fired, there are a group of people who are actually getting promoted and given double increment, like 100% increment. How is that possible? So, and also when I did my other research, when I was doing my research as usual, I found out that IHMR holds a brand value. The brand value of saying you're from IHMR itself in the field of healthcare is something different. It's a premium, the brand, like it's just like owning an iPhone. So, that name itself puts you on a spotlight. So these were one of few reasons that I chose IHMR Bangalore.
Absolutely. It's quite an interesting take on this. And basically, healthcare and hospitals are an evergreen thing because
Yes.
thanks to all the lifestyle diseases that we have today, and because of the lack of work-life balance, there are a lot of issues which crop up in terms of affecting the vitals of different individuals. And definitely, hospitals and healthcare industry are there to stay, even during the pandemic or endemic, as they call it. Okay,
Yes.
so how was your transition from being a BBA student to studying health management? Was it easy in the initial days? Were you able to cope up and do well in an uncharted journey?
So, as I said before, uh, I was nervous because you're going into something totally you have no knowledge about that too, coming from commerce background and from BBA, where the word even health never pops up, and all your thought in BBA is about They teach the subjects in a way that you are a manager of a business and you're going to manage this. You need to know accountancy, you need to know business studies, you need to know business law. So this is what you're taught. And then coming to healthcare, where you start learning about PHCs, hospitals, and the public health infrastructure, who's a DHO. So it is something new. So I would say, yes, it was nervous. I mean, I was nervous and I felt scared initially. And but what do you say, like as you go on, as you attend the classes more and more and more, things really start making sense, because end of the day, be it BBA, they teach you how to manage a business, and the same principles are applied into an hospital. Hospital is also a business. It's an organization again, so
So,
maybe the technical terms are different, but the foundation is the same. So it doesn't matter if you come from BBA, or it doesn't matter if you're coming from any other bachelor's. End of the day, you're going to do the same job, but in a different industry. So when that thought came to my head, I started realigning the subjects in a way that, okay, let me assume this as this, and then work on it. And things started making sense. So yes, I would say despite all these efforts, there were a few challenges during my course, but the kind of support you get in IHMR is something totally different. So the kind of support you get from your faculty, the kind of support you get from your peer mates, you are sitting with MBBS doctors. It was my privilege. They are students and you are also a student. So as you know, especially if you're coming from a non-medical or non-science background, they are doctors. They did engineering. You're just doing BBA. These kind of thoughts. I mean, conversations come up at home. And when you sit with them and you learn things from your peer mates itself, so it's not only learning from the faculty, the kind of knowledge you learn from your peer mates is equally at par. So yes, I would say it was nervous in the beginning, but with this kind of an ecosystem and this kind of a support, it made things easy.
absolutely. Quite another experience you had of learning from your peers too. So I think
Mhm.
that's holistic learning in that sense. You learn
Yes.
from everyone.
Yes.
Right. And what would be your top of the mind recall about your experience at IHMR? What stands out at IHMR Bangalore?
Firstly, what I would say is the kind of the environment itself within the classroom. Okay. Things like your faculty is not being an actual faculty like how they were in your degree. They're more of a friend. Yes, when it comes to subjects they teach, but when you ask doubts, they teach you in layman terms, so you get things out. So the experience in learning is simplified, very much simplified. If you still don't understand, you can still reach out to the faculty later on and understand things what you want to know from them, and they're always there to support you. And especially when they know that you are from a different background, they make sure to pause what they're teaching and tell it in a way that the non-medical background students also understand what is going on in the class. Especially when it comes to in my specialization, hospital management, there's a subject known as clinical services. So it's very clinical. The subject, the name says it. So they made sure, the faculty makes sure that you understand what is going on. And if you still have doubts, so from learning point of view, it was great. But the highlight of the entire program in IHMR Bangalore would be its practical exposure, be it the community studies field. We go out for a field study, and then we had an opportunity to have an observership, which was for 10 days, but it actually helps you to understand the core functioning of a hospital, where you go and understand what's happening, how things flow around in a hospital, and giving you first-hand experience of what happens, that practical exposure. And next thing I would say is the internships and the again practical exposure. And for the fact, I would say someway it was the internships that led me to where I am today, because what I did then is very much relevant to the what job I'm doing right now. So that kind of an exposure while studying is something that recruiters and companies are actually looking for. So that is something amazing. And the most important thing, recruitment, okay, that's important. If you're looking for higher studies, I mean, the placements I meant. And then the knowledge, yes, again, important. But the most important thing I would say is you as a person. What does HMR offer to you as a person in cultural values, social values? So, every subject has something like assignments, presentations, PPTs, and it makes people who are even an introvert come to the stage and eliminate your public's that fear of the stage fear, I
Public
would say.
speaking, yeah.
Yes, public speaking is a very important thing. And that is something that HMR teaches you indirectly through its courses, which is something that not just because for your job, but for you as a person itself is a great value. So it changes your personality. HMR changed my personality. So that I would say is the biggest gift that I got from HMR.
Yeah, wonderful. That's good. And to add on to what you said, I think apart from peer learning, classroom learning, teaching, you also had an exposure to learning the medical terminologies to start with,
Yes, yes, yes.
which gave you a high in the sense that you came on par with the
Yes.
medicos.
Yes, yes, yes. So I do remember that one of the foundational course, like even before your actual credit course starts, there's medical terminologies that were taught, and it makes sure that before your classes start, you at least know the basics. You know what things are about. So that course was particularly very, very helpful. So, before IHMR, all I knew was cardiology and ortho. These were the only two fields I knew. But after that particular 1 week to 2 week course we had at the time, things changed. Your exposure changed. So, yes, that was a great thing.
Wonderful. That was the leveler in that sense.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So we offer four specializations. So what made you choose your focus area?
Yes, so I chose hospital management, and just like Anchal said earlier, what I think is everything in the healthcare industry revolves around hospital. And me coming from a different field, I think it's something, you need to go to hospital because that is where everything happens. But that is the foundation. And be it, going to health technology or pharmaceutical or public health, everything comes down to a point where the doctor meets the patient and the services that is provided to make facilitate this process. So you
Absolutely.
need to be at the core of it. Only if you're at the core of it, especially me, and being placed at Sakra, especially as a quality executive, you get to audit every particular department in the hospital, every hospital, and you have the liberty to go explore things, learn things, amend things, even though you're new to the field. These things are something that, the kind of exposure you get at the core level is something that is unparalleled, even if you go to any other specialization. So, not to degrade any other specialization, but
True.
this is the practicality. This is the practical nature. So, everything happens around hospital. So, going to hospital, especially for me, who is from a totally different field, made sense. So, that's the reason I went for hospital management.
Absolutely. As you rightly said, hospital does have scope for a pharmacist to focus on SCM, that is supply chain management, as well
Yeah.
as there is scope for a hospital management information system, that is hospital IT. So
Mhm.
at the core of it is the hospital, and around it, all this paraphernalia of services is built around it.
Yes.
Good to know that. And we'd also like to know what would be your advice to your future batches, especially the non-medical background candidates. What would be your advice, and what would be your confident call out in terms of taking up this course?
So I would say that firstly, mm, there's nothing to be afraid of. I was afraid. So you might be afraid, which is normal, but it's very exciting. And the thought that you are getting to know something totally different not only makes you feel cool, but it's actually different because you're not bombarded with the same theory that you're taught, or you're not in the same field that is boring. You're going to something different. The kind of knowledge, the learning experience, it's totally different. And even if you're afraid, even if you're scared, even if you're not able to cope up, the ecosystem, the faculties, your peer mates, and your academic mentors, that is something that provided by HMR Bangalore. Your academic mentors make sure that you learn things, you understand things, and things will change. Everything change. So yes, so initial fear will be eliminated. That kind of support is there. And something I want to say to the students that are going to join in the future, or who are looking forward, or who are shortlisted at IIHMR Bangalore as one of the one of the institutions they want to apply to, I would say, if you have chosen to go for higher education, it shouldn't totally depend on the kind of not even infrastructure, the campus size, the lavishness. That's not why you do higher studies. Yeah, even my BBA university is 50 plus acres, lavish buildings, everything is totally different. And when you come to HMR Bangalore, it's an institution. Your goal here is to learn things so that you get placed in a very reputed organization in a good position. So if that is your goal, I recommend IIHMR Bangalore. If you want to learn something, and if you have the curiosity to learn, and you're not here just to while away your time or just to pass, this is not the place for you. I'm sorry. But if you really want to learn, you want to be successful or learn something totally different, IIHMR Bangalore is the place. You will get the support of everyone in the industry, including the receptionist. Everybody is there to support you for whatever matter it is. So this is what I would like to tell to the future candidates and students.
Wonderful, Srijit. Mr. Srijit, actually, I like the point that you mentioned about the mentoring being
Yes.
done by the faculty. Each faculty is assigned 5 to 10 students whom he or she guides through their journey out here. So that's a very important point. Because
Yes.
at that juncture, where they need the support in terms of academics, there is somebody to guide them, somebody who is well versed in that subject or is a subject matter expert is there to guide them and stand by their side to tell them to take the right direction. And there are meetings, formal meetings scheduled every
Yes.
week for the
Yes.
same. And irrespective of that, informally also, whenever the student has issues, they can always call their mentor and ask
Mentor.
for advice.
Yes.
So, really grateful to you, Mr. Srijit, for the words of wisdom, as always.
Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot for joining. Please
Pleasure.
be online
Sure,
while
sure.
we also invite our third panelist for today, Mr. 𝐏𝐶𝐬𝐭, whose basic degree was in arts, specializing in English honors. He's from our PGDM Hospital and Health Management batch of 2023-2025, and he's already placed at Bajaj FinServ Health as a management training. So, Mr. 𝐏𝐶𝐬𝐭, congratulations on being placed at the end of your 2-year journey. It's quite a reward for your hard work.
Thank you very much, sir. Good evening, everyone. My name is 𝐏𝐶𝐬𝐭. I'm from Manipur.
Yeah, good to have you. Good to have you,
Yeah,
Mr. 𝐏𝐶𝐬𝐭.
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I'd like to pose a few questions to you so as to motivate the
Sure, sir.
other potential candidates about
Sure, sir.
how you were able to crack uh, this whole thing about a non-medical person getting into hospital and healthcare industry. So you come with a BA English honors graduation degree. And what was the motivation for you to get into hospital and healthcare management instead of following the conventional path?
Correct, sir. Had a plan for myself, a very conventional path for a BA English honors student, which was start competing for UPSC exams, civil exams right after my graduation. But I just got to know that the other panel members like Mr. Srijit sir and Anchal ma'am, COVID has uh, COVID has played a quite a big role in our lives, and I had a very I would say a very late eye-opening or blooming, where I understood the need of better healthcare infrastructure in the northeastern states of India. Like uh, like in many states of Northeast, the market penetration is still very low. Like just for an instance, to give you an idea, in most of the states, the penetration of health insurance is like just only 5%. All right, so which is very low. In Manipur, like the state where I come from, it's 5%, and the other states it's around the same or even lesser than that. And I understood the need of health tech and med tech in this in northeastern part of India. So I always wanted to start a business in my life. It was always a dream for me. Well, of course, I had some. Of course, I chose to do my BA in English literature, BA in English honors, because I once had a dream of being a civil servant uh, as my father, but I understood the need of uh, healthcare, yeah, a better healthcare infrastructure in the states of Northeast. So why I chose Bangalore here is because of all this. Bangalore is known for the startup that we have here. It is a startup hub, and as someone who wants to start a business in the healthcare industry, with having no not little to no idea to about what healthcare is all about, I chose IHMR Bangalore because, like Miss Anchal Agarwal said, um, ma'am, ma'am Anchal Agarwal said, like our course here, our institution primarily focuses on healthcare specifically, and which was what I wanted to get exposure into. So instead of doing MBA and choosing going for HR, marketing, and healthcare management, I just wanted to focus on healthcare so that I get a proper exposure to what and all services that we have here in the best cities of India, which we don't get in Northeast. So I got a very good exposure thanks to IHMR and the city.
Yeah. And Mr.
And
Chigme, if I may ask, was this transition
yes, sir.
easy? The thoughts
Oh,
that you're saying, it looks pretty
yeah.
effortless that you made a choice and you achieved it. But definitely, the transition would have been little challenging from healthcare, from a non-healthcare background. You transitioned into healthcare from a arts kind of a degree. Did you face any
Yes, sir.
challenges or fears during the shift, and how did you overcome it?
Of course, it was not just challenging, it was very overwhelming. Sometimes I used to think, what am I doing here? Why am I here? And but of course, if you want to start a business, you can't be afraid. So I try to, not get all of these overwhelming things get into my head. Like if I want to start something, I need to cope up with this anyhow. Whatever I have to get in, I have to know what it is. I have to know the game so that I can play it myself, and I cannot be afraid and never mind and another next life. I only have one life, and I always wanted an exciting life and a challenging life. So which was why I have always not given up on myself, although there were many instances where I have been overwhelmed to the point that okay, I rethink my decisions, but of course, you have to keep going.
Wonderful. That's quite a positive note that you took up challenges and you held it by by the horns, as they say, right? And what aspects of your student life at IHMR Bangalore do you love to remember in terms of, say, field visits, the visits to the PHCs and the companies, the internships, or the campus activities? What led a more lasting impression on your mind and your personality?
Yeah. So being from a non-medical healthcare, like medical background, like as Sir Srijit and Miss Anchal Agrawal has mentioned, like you're surrounded mostly with people who are from the relevant backgrounds or life sciences, where you feel small, but it was all thanks to my peers, my friends, even doctors. Yeah, like Srijit sir said, you're surrounded by doctors. Don't only take it as a challenge. don't let that factor like keep you away from trying hard, but make use of it. I did not have much idea about healthcare, but my friends, my batchmates who are from relevant backgrounds, I annoyed them very much, uh, trying to get a lot of insights from them, advices from them, information out of them, and like a reality on ground how the industry is. Some of them were doctors, so they told me about how doctors are, like life of the doctors and like all the challenges that they have faced and the gaps they have seen in healthcare from their perspective as well. And also like I have done internships after internships, like uh, to get the most out of this program, thanks to my faculties who helped me get into all these internships. I started with my internship at IISc, Indian Institute of Science, and then I did another internship at IGICH, Indira Gandhi Child Health, and then after that I had an observation at 𝐏𝐶𝐬𝐬 Hospital Electronic City. So I got a very good exposure to some to a big chunk of healthcare industry, like compared to how I was before I joined here. So I'm really happy with that, and that is my one of the best memories I have had in my life.
Wonderful. That's quite your holistic perspective that you've given to us. I mean, attending and making a conference paper or a conference presentation at IISc is quite an effort. So we appreciate that. And what advice, lastly, would you give to students from non-medical backgrounds who are trying to consider a career in health management?
Well, first of all, I would advise them to be sure on what they want to do in life, because, of course, if they are somewhere like me, who is transitioning from a very non-relevant background to here, you have to know like why you want to be here, and once you start, there is no going back. So you have to give it your all, and
Wonderful.
never be afraid.
Yeah, good positive words to end it. Good motivating words. We appreciate you too, Mr. 𝐏𝐸𝐴, for making time out for this webinar. So on behalf of the management at the Institute of Health Management Research, Bangalore, and on my own personal behalf, I'd like to thank our panel for the day, Ms. Anchal Agrawal, Mr. P. Srijit, and Mr. 𝐏𝐸𝐴 𝐵𝐴𝐻M for their valuable time and insightful information about their life and journey as students of the Institute of Health Management Research, Bangalore. So I'd like to summarize, and my take is that I hope you found this webinar valuable and hope it gave you the information that you're looking forward to in terms of the ease of transition of non-medical students into hospital and health management, as well as health IT and pharmaceutical management streams. So with experienced faculty, innovative academic practices, be it the case study framework or the field works, guest lectures, and the lecture capturing systems, or the state-of-the-art infrastructure and the plethora of opportunities in terms of internships, STPs, and placement, coupled with extremely talented and esteemed faculty from far and wide who come and train our students. We're very proud to say that our students from medical as well as non-medical backgrounds have thrived and poised to excel in the healthcare stream now and in the future. With that, I'd like to sign off. Thanks to all the guests and the panelists. So thanks a lot, everyone, for joining. Hope you were able to get a lot of information that you were looking for. Thanks a lot once again.
Thank you. So thank you for having us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks,
Yes, sir.
everyone.